is a sacred power within you, waiting to be remembered. Too often, you walk through life doubting your worth, questioning your path, and underestimating your brilliance. But today, I want you to rise into a new truth. Act as if you are the chosen one. For in truth, you already are. You were born with purpose. Even if no one ever told you, even if the world tried to convince you otherwise, deep within your soul, there is a reason you are here. Every single person arrives on this earth with a mission, a path, and a unique light to bring forward. When you came into this world, you carried gifts within you. Gifts no one else can replicate. No one else has your exact voice, your perspective, your heart, or your way of seeing life. That alone is proof that you were never meant to be ordinary. Purpose is not something you have to chase outside of yourself. It already lives within you. Think about it, your passions, your natural talents, the things that excite your heart, and even the struggles you have faced. All of these are threads that weave together your destiny. You did not come here just to exist. You came here to expand, to love, to learn, and to touch lives in ways you may not even realize. You may not see it yet, but every step you take is guided. Even the detours, the disappointments, and the heartbreaks have been part of shaping you into the person you are today. Sometimes, people mistake purpose for something grand or far away. They think it must mean being famous, changing the world in dramatic ways, or doing something that everyone else notices. But purpose often shows up in the quiet moments. It's in the kindness you extend to a stranger, the encouragement you give to a friend, the patience you show your children, the creativity you pour into your work, or the courage to keep going when life feels heavy. Every single act of love and authenticity is part of fulfilling your purpose. When you act as if you were born with purpose, something inside of you shifts. You stop comparing yourself to others because you realize no one else is on your exact journey. You begin to walk with more confidence because you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Even if you're still unfolding, you stop waiting for permission to live fully, and instead, you declare to the universe, I am ready to embrace my destiny. That shift in energy is powerful. It opens doors, it attracts opportunities, and it awakens the very life you have always desired. Many times, fear tries to convince you that you are not worthy, that you are not enough, or that you are too late. But hear this clearly, you are never too late to step into your purpose. As long as you are breathing, your mission is still alive. The dream within you is not random. It was placed there as a divine whisper to remind you of who you are, every desire for growth, every yearning to create, every pull to serve others. These are not accidents. They are signposts guiding you back to your true path. When you fully accept that you were born with purpose, you also stop living life as if it were a rehearsal. You begin to cherish the present moment, knowing that this day, this breath, this step is part of your sacred journey. You no longer wait for the perfect time, because you recognize that the perfect time is now. Life is not asking you to be flawless. It is asking you to be authentic, to show up, to try, to express the love and wisdom that only you can bring. And remember this, living with purpose does not mean life will always be easy. Challenges will come, but they will not come to destroy you. They will come to shape you. Each obstacle you face strengthens your spirit, builds your resilience, and teaches you lessons that add depth to your mission. When you rise after being knocked down, you prove to yourself and to the world that your purpose is greater than any temporary setback. So today, Walk with the awareness that your existence matters. Stand tall in the knowing that your life is not random. You were chosen for this time, for this place, for this season. Your gifts are needed, your love is needed, your voice is needed. Trust in the path unfolding before you, and trust in the wisdom within you. You do not need to wait to be ready. You were born ready. You were born with purpose. And the more you live as if you already know this truth, the more life will rise up to confirm it. Confidence comes from belief, not circumstances. Too often, people imagine that confidence will appear once everything around them is perfect. They say to themselves, I will feel confident when I have more money, when I look a certain way, when I have the right job, or when others finally recognize my worth. But true confidence does not come from outside approval, possessions, or achievements. It is born from the quiet decision within your heart that you are already enough. It is belief, not circumstances, that creates the foundation of unshakable confidence. Circumstances are temporary, and they change like the weather. If your confidence depends on them, it will rise and fall with every high and low in your life. One day you will feel strong. The next you will feel unworthy, because your sense of value will always be at the mercy of external conditions. But when you anchor your confidence in belief, in the unwavering trust that you are valuable simply because you exist, then no circumstance can take that away from you. You can lose money, you can lose a relationship, you can face rejection, and yet still walk with your head held high, knowing that none of these events define who you truly are. Confidence is a choice, an inner agreement you make with yourself to believe in your worth, your potential, and your power even when life doesn't give you visible proof yet. Think of all the people who dared to step into greatness before anyone believed in them. They didn't wait for applause, validation, or success to feel confident. They acted as if they already carried something worthy inside, and that belief shaped their reality. The energy of belief always precedes results. This is why people with strong belief in themselves often appear magnetic. You notice their energy before you notice their achievements. They walk into a room not because they are the wealthiest, the most attractive, or the most educated, but because their belief radiates through every movement, every word, and every gesture. It is this energy that attracts opportunities, relationships, and success, not the other way around. When you depend on circumstances for confidence, you give your power away. You say, I will only feel good if life treats me kindly. But life does not always move in straight lines. Confidence built on belief means you can move forward even when things feel uncertain. It means you can take risks, trust your journey, and step into the unknown because your worth is not tied to whether you win or fail. Both success and failure become part of your growth, and neither can steal your inner strength. Belief is powerful because it is a seed you plant within yourself. At first, it may feel small, fragile, or even unbelievable. You might repeat affirmations or tell yourself you are confident while still feeling shaky inside. But belief grows with practice. Each time you choose to act with courage, each time you remind yourself that you are enough, each time you refuse to shrink in the face of fear, your belief strengthens. And as that belief strengthens, so does your confidence. Circumstances will always shift, but your belief can become an unshakable foundation. You can walk into a room where no one knows your name and still hold yourself with quiet authority. You can begin a new project without guarantees and still move forward with faith. You can face rejection without collapsing, because you know that rejection does not define you. You define you. Confidence that comes from belief is also contagious. When you stand tall in your inner truth, others feel it. They may not be able to explain why, but they are drawn to your energy. Your belief gives them permission to believe in themselves too. That is the power of living from the inside out. So, do not wait for life to hand you the perfect conditions before you claim your confidence. Choose it now. Believe in yourself today, not tomorrow. Stand in your worth, not because circumstances say you should, but because your heart already knows you are enough. Confidence is not something you earn after proving yourself to the world. It is the belief you carry before the proof arrives. And when you live from that place, the world has no choice but to reflect your inner strength back to you. The universe is always responding to your energy. Every thought you think, every belief you carry, every feeling you nurture sends out a signal that the universe reflects back to you. It is like a mirror, constantly showing you the vibration you hold inside. When you act as if you are the chosen one, you send out an energy of certainty, worthiness, and love. And the universe, in its infinite intelligence, begins arranging circumstances, people, and opportunities that match that vibration. Energy speaks louder than words. You may say with your mouth that you want abundance, love, or peace, but if deep inside you believe you are unworthy or doubtful, the energy you project is one of lack. The universe does not respond to what you merely say. It responds to what you consistently feel and believe. This is why two people can stand in the same place with the same chances before them, and yet one attracts success while the other struggles. It is not because one is more deserving than the other, but because the energy they radiate is different. When you align with the energy of someone chosen, you begin to walk differently, speak differently, and carry yourself with a quiet confidence that cannot be ignored. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are no longer asking the world for permission to exist. You are declaring with your presence that you belong here. And because you hold that truth within, the universe reflects it back. Doors open where walls once stood, opportunities that seemed impossible begin to appear, and people are drawn to you as if by invisible threads. Think of your energy like a magnet. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, and self-criticism, you magnetize more situations that reinforce those feelings. But if your thoughts are filled with faith, love, and trust in your worth, you magnetize experiences that lift you higher. You cannot fake energy. People feel it when you walk into a room. Life itself responds to the energy you hold, whether you are aware of it or not. This is why acting as if you are chosen is such a powerful shift. The moment you begin to live from that state, your energy changes. You no longer approach life from desperation, chasing what you think you lack. Instead, you attract from a place of fullness because you already carry the energy of someone who is loved, guided, and worthy. It is this inner knowing that transforms how the outer world responds to you. The universe is never against you. It is neutral. It simply reflects back the signal you are sending. If you want life to treat you differently, you must first treat yourself differently. Speak to yourself with kindness. Hold yourself with respect and nurture beliefs that affirm your greatness. As you shift your inner world, the outer world shifts too. What once seemed impossible becomes natural because your energy no longer blocks it. You may have noticed how when you are in love with life, grateful for even the smallest blessings, more blessings seem to flow your way. That is not coincidence. It is the law of energy. Gratitude attracts more reasons to be grateful. Confidence attracts more situations that affirm your strength. Love attracts more love. The universe cannot help but mirror back what you radiate. So if you desire abundance, hold the energy of abundance now. If you desire love, radiate love within yourself first. If you desire peace, cultivate peace in your heart. You do not wait for circumstances to change before embodying the energy. You embody the energy first, and then the circumstances follow. That is the secret many overlook. Acting as if you are chosen is not pretending. It is remembering the truth of who you already are. The moment you hold that vibration, the universe says yes. It rearranges, it shifts, it moves mountains if necessary to bring you into alignment with what you are claiming. But it always starts with you, with the energy you choose to carry each day. When you wake up tomorrow, remind yourself, my energy is my greatest power. I radiate love, I radiate confidence, I radiate worthiness. Hold that belief and watch how life begins to respond. The people you meet, the chances that arise, the blessings that unfold, they are all echoes of the vibration you send out. You do not need to chase life. You only need to align your energy, and the universe will do the rest. For far too long, many people carry with them an old story of unworthiness. It begins quietly, sometimes in childhood, sometimes through painful experiences later in life. Perhaps someone told you that you weren't good enough, or maybe you were compared to others in a way that made you feel small. Maybe you went through rejection, heartbreak, or failure, and instead of seeing those as temporary moments, you turned them into evidence against yourself. Without even realizing it, you began to believe the lie that you are less, that you don't measure up, that you are somehow not worthy of the happiness, love, or success you desire. But hear this truth, that old story does not belong to you anymore, and it is time to release it. Unworthiness is not your natural state. You were not born doubting yourself. Look at a baby. They do not question whether they deserve to be loved, held, or cared for. They simply know they belong. That is your original state too. Somewhere along the way, layers of conditioning, criticism, and painful experiences covered up that natural sense of worth. But just because you forgot your value does not mean it is gone. It has been there all along, waiting for you to remember. The story of unworthiness is heavy, and it keeps you small. It whispers to you that you should stay quiet, that you should settle, that you should not dare to dream too big. It convinces you to seek approval from others, to chase validation, to measure yourself against standards that were never yours to begin with. And because you believe the story, you live inside its walls, unaware that you have the key to unlock the door. The key is the choice to see yourself differently. When you release the old story of unworthiness, you take back your power. You stop giving your past permission to dictate your present. You no longer define yourself by mistakes, by losses, or by the opinions of others. You begin to see that every single one of those painful experiences was never proof of your lack of worth. They were lessons guiding you back to your strength. What you once saw as evidence of failure becomes a stepping stone of growth. What you once thought broke you actually built you. Releasing unworthiness does not mean you suddenly feel perfect overnight. It is a gentle practice, a daily choice to replace harsh thoughts with loving ones. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I'm not enough," you choose to affirm, "I am more than enough." Every time you feel the urge to shrink back, you remind yourself, "I deserve to take up space." Every time doubt creeps in, you choose to lean into trust. Slowly, Those new thoughts begin to carve new pathways in your mind, and the old story loses its power. It is also important to forgive yourself. Many people cling to guilt and shame from their past, believing they don't deserve good things because of mistakes they made. But forgiveness is freedom. You are not defined by what you did or didn't do. You are defined by the love and wisdom you choose to embody now. The past cannot be changed, but it can be transformed when you see it as part of your journey back to yourself. Remember this: you do not need to earn worthiness. You already are worthy because you exist. The sun does not need to prove it is worthy to shine. The ocean does not need to prove it is worthy to flow. And you do not need to prove you are worthy of love, success, or peace. It is your birthright. The universe created you in this exact form for a reason. And the very fact that you are alive is the only proof you need. As you release the story of unworthiness, you make space for a new story, one where you see yourself as valuable, powerful, and guided. One where you walk into life with your head high, not because you are better than others, but because you finally know you are equal to all. The moment you step into that truth, the world around you begins to shift. You will notice how people treat you differently, how opportunities find their way to you, how peace settles in your heart. Life mirrors back the worth you claim for yourself. So let this be the day you set down that old, tired story of not being enough. It has weighed you down long enough. Take a deep breath, release it, and step into the new truth: you are worthy. You always have been, and you always will be. The story of unworthiness ends here. Your new story begins now. Fear is the voice that tells you to shrink, to doubt, to hold back. It convinces you that you are not ready, not capable, not deserving. Fear tries to protect you, but in truth, it keeps you trapped in a smaller version of yourself. Love, on the other hand, is the energy that expands you. Love reminds you that you are supported, guided, and safe. To align with love instead of fear is to shift from living in limitation to living in possibility. It is the choice to see life not as a threat, but as a gift. Every day you are faced with the choice: will I live from fear, or will I live from love? Fear says, what if I fail? Love says, what if I soar? Fear says, they won't accept me. Love says, the right people will see me for who I am. Fear says, I don't have enough. Love says, I am supported and abundant. The thoughts may look small, but the energy behind them shapes the way your entire life unfolds. When you live from fear, you close doors before they even open. You reject yourself before anyone else can. You hesitate, procrastinate, and stay in the familiar, even if the familiar is not what your soul truly desires. Fear keeps you in survival mode, always waiting, always preparing, always bracing for the worst. But love invites you into a different vibration. Love says, step forward. Trust yourself. Trust life. You are more powerful than you know. And when you align with that voice of love, you begin to see possibilities where fear once saw only problems. Aligning with love does not mean you will never feel afraid again. Fear will still whisper, but love will speak louder. It means you choose not to let fear lead your life. Instead of reacting out of panic, you respond with wisdom. Instead of assuming the worst, you expect the best. Instead of doubting yourself, you affirm your worth. Over time, the voice of love becomes stronger and fear loses its grip. Living from love changes the way you treat yourself. You no longer criticize yourself for every mistake. You encourage yourself the way you would encourage a dear friend. You no longer push yourself with harshness. You guide yourself with compassion. You begin to nurture your body, your mind, and your spirit because you recognize that you are worthy of care. And as you treat yourself with love, you naturally extend that love outward to your relationships, to your work, and to the world around you. Fear isolates, but love connects. Fear builds walls, but love builds bridges. When you align with love, you stop seeing others as competition or threats. You begin to see them as mirrors, as teachers, as fellow travelers on this journey. You radiate kindness, and in return, kindness comes back to you in unexpected ways. Love becomes not just something you feel, but something you embody, a presence that uplifts everyone who comes near you. One of the most beautiful truths about aligning with love is that it puts you in harmony with the flow of life. Fear resists, clings, and controls. Love allows, trusts, and surrenders. When you move with love, you are no longer forcing life to bend to your will. You are opening yourself to the guidance of the universe. You begin to notice synchronicities, gentle nudges, and doors that open effortlessly. What once felt like struggle begins to feel like flow because you are no longer working against yourself. If you ever doubt whether you are aligned with love or fear, simply listen to how you feel. Fear feels tight, heavy, and restrictive. Love feels expansive, light, and free. Fear drains your energy, love restores it. Fear makes you doubt, love makes you trust. Your body, your intuition, and your spirit always know the difference. So today, choose love. Choose it in your words, in your thoughts, in your actions. When fear tells you to hide, let love encourage you to shine. When fear tells you to hold back, let love guide you to step forward. When fear tells you that you are not enough, let love remind you that you are more than enough. Align with love, and you will find that life begins to align with you. Every step you take on this journey of life is sacred. Nothing you do is wasted. Nothing you experience is meaningless. Even the moments you dismiss as ordinary, even the seasons that feel slow or heavy, are part of the divine unfolding of your path. When you begin to see life this way, when you choose to honor every step as holy ground, you realize that you have never once walked outside of purpose. Too often, people wait for a grand breakthrough to feel that their lives matter. They think their steps only count when they reach a certain goal, achieve a certain dream, or stand in front of others with proof of success. But the truth is, your journey is sacred now. The quiet mornings, the small acts of kindness, the simple breaths you take in awareness, all of it carries power. Each step, whether visible to the world or unseen by anyone but you, is shaping the person you are becoming. Every sacred step is a seed. Sometimes you plant seeds in faith, and it looks as if nothing is happening. The soil is silent, and you wonder if your effort was in vain. But the unseen work is just as important as the visible growth. The roots are forming, the foundation is strengthening, and in time, the harvest will come. Trust that nothing you do from a place of love and intention is ever wasted. When you view each step as sacred, you also begin to slow down and notice life more deeply. Instead of rushing toward a future that never seems to arrive fast enough, you begin to appreciate the present moment. Washing the dishes, walking outside, speaking with a loved one, all become opportunities to be present, to breathe, to connect with yourself and with the divine. Suddenly, life feels less like a race and more like a dance. Sacred steps also mean that even your mistakes hold value. Every wrong turn, every detour, every stumble along the way has taught you something important. Instead of judging yourself for them, you can bless them as part of your growth. Without those lessons, you would not carry the wisdom you hold today. The pain, the challenges, the delays, they were not punishments, but preparation. They were part of the path, not outside of it. And so the way you walk matters. If you rush, worry, or carry bitterness, the journey feels heavy. But when you walk with gratitude, with presence, with faith, even the hardest path feels lighter. Every step becomes a declaration. I trust where I am being led. I trust that this moment is enough. I trust that my life is unfolding exactly as it should. That trust turns even the most ordinary actions into sacred rituals. Think about how your life changes when you treat each step this way. Conversations with others become deeper because you realize that connection is holy. Work becomes meaningful because you know it is part of your contribution. Rest becomes necessary because you honor your body as a vessel of light. Even challenges lose their sharp edge because you trust that they too are guiding you closer to your truth. Every step you take with awareness is an offering to life itself. You are saying, I am here. I am present. I am open. And life responds by giving you more reasons to be grateful, more moments to cherish, more love to receive. You do not need to wait for a grand destiny to feel chosen. Your destiny is already alive in every breath, in every choice, in every sacred step you take today. So as you continue on your path, remember there are no wasted moments. There are no meaningless days. Wherever you are on holy ground. Walk with love, walk with faith, walk with reverence for your own life. Every step you take carries the energy of your worth, your purpose, and your divinity. Every step is sacred, and each one is leading you closer to the fullness of who you are meant to be.